Hi and welcome to the fourth week of our course. This week our subject is the first principles of public management, the rule of law and accountability. In past 2 weeks we defined what public management is, the similarities between public management, public administration and private management. We also traced the historical roots of public management in the continental Europe and in England and in the US. So this week we will learn the first principles of public management, the rule of law and accountability. Let me explain you first why the rule of law and accountability are the first principles of public management. Well, in previous lectures I mentioned three very important developments for having a good government or having a modern well-functioning government. These three important developments were the development of the rule of law, the development of a merit-based bureaucracy that is free from clientelism and patronage, and the development of democratic accountability institutions such as a parliament or Congress, the separation of powers, and so on. That's why we are going to learn the rule of law first, because this is the first principle for having a good government. Without having a rule of law, you cannot have a well-established bureaucracy, and you cannot have a democratic accountability system. So that's why we're going to learn the rule of law first. So this week our goals are to define the rule of law and accountability in the US context especially, analyze the historical foundations of the rule of law and accountability, and identify various rule of law and accountability mechanisms. We will talk about the sources of law and things like that, and discuss how the rule of law and accountability are in action by analyzing some cases. So this week you will have a few things to accomplish our goals. First, you will read chapter 2 from our textbook. That's an excellent chapter that explains the rule of law, and you will have 3 additional articles to cover this week's subject. Before showing you the reading materials, let me explain you something. Whenever you see a TouchCast logo on the right top, right here, on the right top corner of the screen, that means this video is an interactive video. So I use a special software to create these interactive videos. So whenever I show you a reading material or a website or something else, you can interact with these documents or these small things while you are watching these videos. So if you tap or click on the PDF file, the video will pause, and you can play with this PDF file. You can scroll down and up. You can read it. You can perhaps annotate it, and whenever you're done with this PDF file, you can return back the video, and the video will resume. So a quick note for those who has not explored this feature yet. So let me go back to the reading materials. So you're going to have 3 articles. The first article is by Lawrence Lin. I'll show you around. As you know, Lin is one of the authors of our textbook, and in this article, a little bigger, he talks about the legal and managerial tension in public management. So what does it mean? In general, the legal foundations of public management, it prioritizes things like the due process and other important things like equality and so on in the practice of management. On the other hand, the management aspect of public management refers to the efficiency and effectiveness aspect. So there's this ongoing tension between the legal foundations and the managerial foundations, or the managerial wing and the legal wing of public management, and there's no solution to this problem. Sometimes the legal aspect of public management becomes an impediment for the managerial aspect, and sometimes the managerial aspect violates the legal aspect of public management. And you will see some examples in the reading materials as well as in the discussion board this week. So this article explains this tension between the legal and managerial aspects of public management. Okay, so this is the first article. And the second article is by Barbara Romzek and Patricia Ingraham. And Barbara Romzek and her co-author Melvin Dubnik, they published very influential article in I think 1984, and in that article they explored the failure of the Challenger shuttle disaster, and they developed a very influential, very important accountability framework. And in this accountability framework, they say there are 4 types of accountability. These 4 types are bureaucratic accountability, legal accountability, professional accountability, and political accountability. In this more recent article, this article was published in 2000, Barbara Rumsek and Patricia Ingraham, they apply this accountability framework to a different case, Ron Brown plane crash, and they explain this case from this accountability viewpoint. And this is a very nice article as well, and hopefully it will help you understand the Barbara Rumsek and Melvin Dubnik accountability framework in a better way. And a final article for this week is by Weiss and O'Leary. In this article, they revisit their past work, and they basically explain how the legal aspect of management or the courts can be an impediment for managerial practices. So this is something that I hope you will enjoy as well. In addition to these readings, you will have a discussion forum. For this discussion, you will watch a documentary, a short documentary. It's about, if I can find this, perhaps about 11 minutes, 12 minutes roughly, and this documentary talks about the return of the debtor's prison. And this documentary is by PBS, and it explains how some counties who are under significant financial constraints are contracting out certain services, such as debt collection or fine collection services, to private companies. And in turn, these private companies charge the citizens incredible amounts of money. And when they cannot pay these amounts, they send these people to jail. So this video questions the legality of such practices. Here you see that a local government that is in tough financial situations, contracting out a service which is legal. You can contract certain services, but this contracting out turns out to be an illegal practice of some private company, because people are not supposed to be jailed for failing to pay their fines if they're not able to pay these fines. So this legal documentary is talking about this issue, and I would like you guys to discuss this little case in the discussion forum this week. And one final thing that I will have you guys discuss is the World Justice Project, the Rule of Law Index for 2017-2018. In this index, they rank countries based on their rule of law quality, and the U.S. is, I think, in 19th or 17th position here. It's not in top 10. And I would like you guys to take a look at this report and compare the U.S. to some other countries and see in what areas we can improve the rule of law here in our country. So that's going to be all for this week. There are a lot of things you will do. It's a busy week. You will have some reading materials, you will have 4 pieces, and you will have a short documentary, and you will have a discussion forum. So I hope you will all enjoy this week. Again, this week is very important. It's the first principle of public management, the rule of law. And I hope you will enjoy this week's content and the reading materials. And please send me an email, call my office, or arrange a Skype conversation if you have any questions or concerns. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. Take care.